Today we are taking your ordinary meals and we are turning them into something extraordinary, a little more special, a little more flavorful, and a little more chefy. Please welcome our chefs, Jason Parsons and Randy Felton.
Hey.
I like that we're going chefy today.
I love that word chefy.
It's chefy. It's a very technical term.
I woke up this morning and I felt chefy.
Yeah,
I feel
chefy.
chefy every morning.
There's something about, I mean, there's a way that you guys do things that really helps elevate the meals, and it could be, you could be making the most simple thing.
Yeah.
But if you follow some of the rules that you guys follow, it's going to bump it to the next level. And so we're going to start with lasagna.
Lasagna for me is, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I love it. Oh, but you can only eat the same kind of lasagna so many, well, actually,
really?
I've tried. But I always think, how can you, and that's for me is what chefy is taking a recipe that you love and then messing with it, you know?
Right.
And yes, sometimes you mess with it and you go, that didn't really work out, you know? But sometimes it does.
But I feel like it's a very versatile dish. Like you can take it to many different places. And you're going to miss sometimes, and that's okay to miss. And maybe that's part of being like the whole chef idea is it's being strong enough to make a move and being okay if it's terrible.
Try and fail. That's what life is all about, right?
Exactly.
That's what happens every time I get into the kitchen. I fail.
100%.
You fail enough, and then you eventually succeed, everything works out.
But so basically, what I'm going to do though is I'm going to start off by making a killer bolognese, and then I want to show you how to really kind of make the dish into a little bit more unique. But first off, you're going to start off with your onions and your garlic. And you know, I was joking the other day because I keep saying that, you know, there's me that likes, you know, like this much garlic.
No.
Maybe
That's it?
the average Canadian probably goes a little much garlic.
Yeah.
And then you got the Italians, so let's get that garlic in there, right? You know,
They're cooking out anyways.
But no, they know that when you're making a lasagna and it's a big batch with lots of meat, you need flavor.
You need a ton.
Right? And it's scary when you put a spoon of garlic or the onions in there, or like we're going to put some spices in a minute, but it takes a lot to make that power.
Right.
You know? So first thing you're going to do though, and I've got this a little bit cool, but you're just going to slowly sweat your onions. It's getting there.
You can just hear it sizzle a bit, and then all of a sudden the aromas just come up, and then everyone's happy in the house. Right.
But I don't want to brown it at this point. I want to make it translucent. And the reason for that is because we want to bring the flavors out of the onions, we want to bring the flavors out of the garlic, but we don't want to change the flavor.
Okay.
When you start to brown it, it becomes more roasted, and we'll get to that. But right now, I just want that fresh flavor of the onion and the garlic.
Would you agree that like the less you cook it, the stronger it is?
Yes.
Right? And you still want the strength of the ingredient in there.
Well, and when you add liquid in here and you boil it, the onion will cook, but it still has a bit of a rawness if you don't fry it at the beginning.
Right.
So once you've got it, and that's all you need, just to kind of bring those flavors out, make it nice and shiny, and then you just throw, I know it's nice and
a little shiny.
Yeah. And then you just throw your meat in. Okay. And I've just got a lean beef, you know, ground fine, but you can change this up. I mean, hey, if you love lamb, do a lamb lasagna.
Yeah.
I love that, right?
That's also very chefy of you.
Yeah.
Right? That's elevating it, taking it to a different place.
It totally is, you know. And I mean, I've never done chicken. You could grind down chicken and put chicken in there.
I mean, you could.
I would do chicken.
Would you make chicken?
You wouldn't cook it as long because you know. But anyway, the great thing with this is we just want to kind of get it going a little bit, just brown it off a little bit. You don't have to get it really fried because it is kind of a braised, you know, sauce. But you just want to break it down because you all know when you get it in the packet, you get this big clump of meat, right?
Maybe a little bit of color on the bottom. A
little bit, yeah. But this is where a good pot, nice thick base really helps. But now what I want to do is add in. So this is my chefy part. Okay. I'm adding mushrooms in there.
All right.
You know, throw some nice mushrooms. I got forest mushrooms, a little bit of cumin.
Yeah. And this wouldn't be the norm, throwing mushrooms in a lasagna,
mushrooms,
right?
No spices like this. Normally it'd be like an oregano and things like that. I'm throwing cumin in
carrot, maybe.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. And then I want it spicy. So you know what? Scoop that whole thing in there. That is
what is that?
Here we go.
Smoked chipotles. Right. So all of a sudden, this is now taking on those familiar flavors of a meat sauce, but with some heat and some spice and some mushroomy flavors. Changing it all up, right?
Nice.
And then obviously you have to be a traditional, so we add a little bit of tomato paste in there. Yeah, you keep stirring and I'll scoop.
Yes, chef.
Tomato paste, I find, just helps the sauce to bind a little bit.
Right.
Because we are going to add fresh tomatoes in here.
Lovely.
You know, you always got to get fresh in there, right?
Well, I see a lot of things that are different than what we would do. We wouldn't necessarily layer this many. Like a lot of people would do maybe the paste, but you did the paste plus tomatoes plus a sauce. Yeah. Like all together.
Yeah, because I feel like the tomatoes, the fresh ones, they're gonna release a lot of water, so they'll help to give it the sauce that you need, but they'll also give it nice texture.
Yeah.
But then the actual strained tomatoes gives you the sauce.
Okay.
Okay. And then you just throw in Lots of herbs.
Here we go.
Right?
Nice.
And you braise that for 35, 40 minutes.
I think you're missing something.
Am I missing something?
What are we missing?
Salt and pepper?
Yeah, we're missing that.
Well, just a little bit of that. Oh, yeah, the wine. What am I doing?
Come on, we need the wine.
How did I forget the
Hoping
wine?
he wasn't going to use that.
Well, no, Tracy said she wanted to drink this.
So we can sip it later.
So this is the braise, and here comes the flavor. Now you're gonna change this thing into like this deep, dark, like passionate, crazy thing.
Love
Yeah.
it.
There it is.
And that's how you end up with this.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that. Let's switch them over.
So 30, 35 minutes later.
Yeah.
All the flavors are together, mixed together, smelling amazing. And the whole point of this is now you've got your amazing sauce.
Yeah.
But you're not even going to make a regular lasagna. You're going to deconstruct
Throw this in a
it.
pan and layer it up. No,
You could
we
do
do
that,
better
but
than
we're
that.
not doing
Way
that.
better than that.
What are we doing, Jay?
What are we going to do?
You can
This is
buy
exciting.
pasta sheets now, right?
Yes.
So what I did was I cut them down into little rings like this.
Oh.
And I've taken a little ring mold, lined it with
Okay.
parchment so I don't have to try and cut it out.
Yeah.
Parchment on the bottom as well.
Parchment on the bottom.
Because I would normally go sauce and then pasta, but you want it a little bit crispier on the bottom, yeah?
Well, I want a base because the thing is you want to be careful when you build this because you want to have the structure. So I actually put the parchment on the bottom,
just want to
pasta
eat
down.
that.
You can get in.
Right?
Isn't that
Yeah,
good?
Spoon it in, spoon it in. Oh, I messed it up a little bit. There you go.
Okay, so you have a little pasta on the bottom,
But
and
thin
that would be
layers.
right. Instead of doing the noodle that you would usually use for lasagna.
You blanch it first. You just take that boiling
You
water,
blanch it.
right? And then you do
Okay.
this, and then you throw some mozzarella
some
that I've
cheese?
cut down, right? Layer that in.
Yes.
And then I've taken zucchini,
Oh,
mushrooms,
excuse me,
grilled them,
mister.
you know, add a little bit of Alfredo sauce to that, you know.
We're going all the
Oh
way.
yeah, we're doing this.
Well,
Is
because
this
is
still a
this is
lasagna?
pretty hearty and heavy, and now
Yeah.
you want some creamy texture to kind of cut
Totally.
that, right?
This is
And we keep
good.
layering our pasta in there.
Look at this
right?
now. Now the story's unfolding.
Right?
Yeah.
And then it's individual.
Parmesan.
Everybody gets their own.
Are we doing another layer or just doing
Yeah,
Two
go for
different
it.
Give me another layer.
cheeses.
Go for it.
Oh my.
And then I've got even
Nice.
provolone cheese in here. So I got mozzarella, provolone. If you want to put some cheddar in there, goat cheese. You just keep going and going and going.
Yeah.
Sure.
But the trick is thin layers, start with pasta, finish with pasta.
Got it.
Gives you a better structure. Okay?
Yes.
You take this whole thing, and you can make them the day before, but when you're ready, you just pop them in the
Bake
oven.
'em.
And if you come on over there and take that one out.
I got this,
Let's
Jay.
see what's happening in there.
Oh, hello, my sweetie.
Isn't that pretty?
Yeah, that looks
It's so
nice.
cute.
That. So you got a nice, simple lasagna that is nice and toasty hot.
Bet that's warm, isn't it?
Just
Don't do that chef part at home.
Oh, yeah.
Use your hands.
Look at the cheese.
Oh my gosh.
Look at that.
That is beautiful.
So then you serve it with
Yay.
a bit of tomato sauce, some fresh basil, put that in front of a guest, and it is all familiar flavors, but
Beautiful.